Yes, I'm me again, Missa B. Wanna take a little look on schoolboy football, specifically the current Manning and DaCosta Cup season. Of course, season is on in earnest, and some big teams getting them clothes wash and hang out for them. Some teams that thought that they were gonna make it don't look so anymore. But that's not the issue. We want to look at a troubling factor in the schoolboy sports in general, and specifically with the schoolboy football season here. If you like the video though, first thing I'm going to ask you for share, like and share, and just, touch the little notification bell so that when the next video drop, say, are you that? But current Manning Cup season has been on in earnest. And, you know, I think we all love the schoolboy football season because more than anything else, apart from the fact that, teams are playing for win and you really want to bring glory to your school. And that for me is a big thing. As a man coming out of the secondary school system, understand the value that schoolboy football have in terms of the identification of the school. That is why, for me, the current reports about the level of indiscipline that has crept into the sport at the schoolboy level is very, very worrisome. I am not of necessity convinced that some of the administrators, particularly at the school level, and even more so at the level of the management of the sport at ISA level, are addressing the problem in a way that I think is, well, I certainly don't find it satisfactory. The background to this has to be that we're coming out of what? Almost 2.5 years or 3 years really, of a COVID pandemic, which has impacted all facets of life, not only in Jamaica, but basically everywhere, but specifically Jamaica, and in respect of our school system, it has had a very deleterious, negative effect. And so, when youngsters lose 2, 3 years of schooling, remember, schooling is not only just the academics or the sports. Schooling is the agent of secondary socialization for children. And we all know in Jamaica where we have some dysfunctional parenting. So a lot of schools function sort of as an incubator for youngsters to help them deal with some of the other the social issues. A lot of youngsters use school to escape some of the negatives going on within them communities, even within their homes. And after 3 years of being at home, and a large number of these youngsters who never really had much of an opportunity to do any meaningful schoolwork have fallen behind. And so, by extension, you see it in terms of the development. Most of the schools talking about that. But what we're not focusing on is the indiscipline that would have been bred or metastasized over those years. A lot of homes in Jamaica have dysfunctional parenting. And so when you put a child in an environment where them have to deal with them parents and them dysfunction, parents not go on for them, some of them have to turn to illegal activities, and by extension pull the kids in with them. You can see how that is going to creep out, into their own behavior once you try to bring them back. A lot of youngsters, so especially the age that play in Manning Cup, Manning Cup youngsters, the age range is between 15 and 19 years old. And, if you were paying any attention, that is the age of the the median age of a gang member in Jamaica is about 17 and a half years old. So that's a primary group. And so I'm kind of just wondering what kind of remediation has been put in the school system to address the kind of dysfunction that these youngsters would have come back to school with after a 3-year absence. And you've seen it in the play on the field. In Manning Cup alone, up until a week and a half ago, is over 70 red cards issued in the tournament, and I think some 70 odd red cards. 57 red cards were issued. But let me correct that. 57 red cards issued in the DaCosta Cup. 37 red cards issued in the Manning Cup competition, and that was just up to 2 weeks ago. We all would, if you're paying attention, that game between Camperdown and Papine where the referee sent off 5 players in a single game. That's 25% of the playing court of in that game were dismissed by the referee because of a fight that broke out on the field. And then you go beyond that, a couple of weeks later, the same Camperdown team is involved where the coach and the assistant coach is ejected, red carded from the game. And then we have issues of schools we're now hearing where players are registered at other schools but turning up to play for another school. Stuff like that is cause for concern. We want to win, but it can't be just winning at any and all costs. And as parents, as Jamaicans, if you're interested in the development of the country and the youth, we need to pay attention to this. We have situations too where schools have literally transformed themselves into sports club, if you will. We see schools that go all over the place to find players. Going down a CARICOM, we have a whole St. Lucia team that is representing one school. We have people that go down Africa, go look players and play football. We have a country with a growing youth population, and I just find it difficult to embrace the fact that we have to go elsewhere to find players to represent the school in a inter-school competition. What happened to the youngsters who are in the school? What kind of message are we sending to these youngsters? Is a win at all costing. We have a situation where a lot of the coaches are youngsters themselves who don't have the kind of upbringing to deal with this, intransigent behavior among the players. And, some of them you see creeping out in terms of how they manage the players on the field. We really need to pay some serious attention. We want to win. We want our youngsters to represent the schools, and the schools want these youngsters to be out there, operating, are functioning more or less as great examples for the youngsters who are in school. I mean, you have a school with 1,800 students, 18 players or 20 players who make up a squad is 1% of that school population. And so those players need to provide themselves as examples for the rest of the school to follow. This is where you want, the kind of messaging you want to get back from your youngsters who are representing your school. So Manning Cup is DaCosta Cup, an important competition in the life of youngsters at school. It's a very important part of participation, but there are some lessons that come out of that. And it's not just about winning a game or scoring a goal. It's about, following, working as a unit, as a team, putting 11 players on a field to take instructions from somebody who they don't know, who is a stranger, a referee, 2 linesmen, and you want to teach them how to accept the ruling, the calls made by the officials, even if it go against you. And then at the management side of each team, if you're not happy with the result, you want to use the channels available to register your complaint. And of course, you want the administrators of the sport to respond, quickly to those issues, so that the reputation that this competition has had over decades remains intact. I think we all want to, underline that fact that these competitions is more than just a contest. It's a test of, will and discipline. It's a test of the ability of these youngsters to work together, to follow the instructions, to take instructions from somebody who is unknown to them, if you will, and to follow whatever calls that are made, good or bad. When it's good, you score a goal and you're happy. If the call go against you, it's part of the game. So I am just a little concerned, and I'm hoping that you guys out there who have followed the tournament will, give me your feedback. Am I right or am I wrong? Or is what we're seeing something that we should be proud of? Yes, all of us want our schools to win, but it can't be a win at all cost thing. Do you agree with this thing where we buy players from all over the place? I mean, I went to high school in the 70s, and that practice has existed from way back when. Never thought it was the best thing, but I'm not part of the system, and we have watched that stretched over the years. There are coaches who are in the Manning Cup thing just for them resume, and for them is a win at all cost thing as well. There are coaches I understand who have put teams together that them have other objectives with these, that they want to serve with these teams. But more importantly, is a resume brushing up thing for them. And so, is it a case where their interest is aligned with the interest of the organizers of the competition, the schools themselves? And what kind of role does the school have in terms of, dealing with these people who are administering these youngsters? Remember, a coach of a football team is, in essence, a surrogate parent. And so these youngsters have to be able to look up to this coach. And if this coach can call them when things bad or the decisions are going against them, and basically marshal the players to abide by the rules and the discipline, we are in trouble. Remember, we're, as a country, already Jamaica in a trouble, and we hope that the discipline that's supposed to come from a team sport like football is going to rub off on these youngsters and put them in a more positive light, because it's a preparation for life after school. And, it is worrying. Remember, the COVID thing has been it has had a dangerous impact on the behavior of our youngsters. Maybe it's a good time to call on the administrators, the sponsors, everybody, to pool together to address the same dysfunction that is coming out of the COVID situation, and how we can address the deleterious impact that COVID has had on these youngsters. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me, give me your feedback in the comment section. If you like the video, again, may I ask you to share. Press the like button, share with your friends. But more importantly, I'd love to get your feedback. More time.